So, Stephen, another change that's coming is the addition of the ability for the dispensaries to do deliveries. And our understanding is that Vireo is the first of the dispensaries or the ROs that is going to be able to do deliveries. If you could share with us some of the issues that it took to get from point A to point B to do deliveries here in New York, and what is that going to look like, the actual getting products delivered to patients, and what are some of the challenges for Vireo and you to implement that, and what does that mean for the whole program?
One thing that I just always like to echo when I get to speak to a group is the tremendous amount of work that goes on the backside of making something like this happen. I thought being a doctor was hard, and joining a startup company in the medical cannabis industry is, they're longer hours than I worked as a physician. And that is that, even for a delivery program to move forward, we have Pages and Ashna, one of our pharmacists here, is just nights up writing SOPs that are many pages long to try to get this approved by the Department of Health. Something that seems to be such a no-brainer. I mean, the patients that are coming to our dispensary, wheelchairs, it's such a hard time making it to our dispensary that we should be able to deliver this to their home, and accessibility has always been an issue with the program. And so this is really exciting that when you've put so much work into something that's going to allow for more patients to have accessibility to a product that's going to improve their life. And for me, and just to jump on chronic pain as well, something that, as a physician I've seen so much is the opioid abuse and the deaths associated with that. And so that's something that really pushes us as well, that in medicine, it's oftentimes, we have ibuprofen and Tylenol, and then your pain is worse than that. What do we go to? And for many years, we've gone to, OxyContin and opioids, and finally, we have another option in here for patients, and especially with chronic pain, where there's a lot of debate about what truly works for chronic pain, to explore medical cannabis. And accessibility is going to be the most important part moving forward, and I'm sure we're going to talk about price at some point, which is another huge issue. But at least this barrier of, you can imagine even palliative care, right, Bernie? That you're in the final days of your life, and you're supposed to get to our dispensary to get your product. So very excited that this is moving forward, and it's just a tremendous amount of work. It's and we have to have 2 security drivers, and there are 15,000 rules on how this is going to get delivered, and so we're up day and night trying to iron that out.
Really, you mentioned 2 topics very near and dear to my heart: the deliveries in the world of hospice, where patients are really terminally ill, the ability for them, and even though we have caregivers, the caregivers are usually at the bedside giving care to their terminally ill loved ones. So we really, deliveries is something we're really excited about. And certainly, you talk about opioid abuse. In my world, we use a lot of opioids treating terminally ill patients who are really struggling. I think opioids for the right patient is the right thing, but certainly for a lot of patients, it's not. And whether we see what's going on anecdotally or what's going on throughout the rest of the country, certainly in my practice, there are certainly patients that are using less opiates once their pain is better controlled with cannabis, and patients are very happy to wean down, if not completely off of opioids. Now, Hillary, earlier you talked about, when we talked about some of the changes, you'd mentioned wholesaling. Can you really explain for the audience, what does that mean, wholesaling, but what does that really mean for the industry?
One of the expansions to the program that the Department of Health has approved is wholesale, and like delivery, there's a huge amount of work on the back end, so this is going to take a long time to sort of come to fruition. But right now, a patient that is that wants to get Attain products has to go to an Attain dispensary. So that means that if you are in Buffalo, you would have to drive to Syracuse to purchase medication from my company, and that goes with everybody right now. So wholesale would allow us to make sure that different brands, different strains that are offered basically, and the different products can be available in all regions of the state. And it sort of goes hand in hand with this delivery idea, is that we can access more patients. Patients can get the medication they need easier. They can try different delivery systems. People can specialize as an operator. Some people, they don't want to make our peppermint spray. Right now, they would have to go formulate their own, invest in spray technology to be able to offer that to their patients. So this is a way for us to sort of specialize, focus on what we're good at instead of trying to encompass everything in our operation. And it also means that patients have more access to different medications.
I think what I'm really hearing here is that each of these ROs are actually going to be able to work together to get a bigger range of products out to patients. So it's really, in essence, teamwork as opposed to competition, which really sounds like a wonderful thing. And that's what CCA is really all about. And really getting this industry propelled forward with good teamwork and really inclusivity. So that's a great thing. Cooperation. I love that word. Thank you. Yes, let's hear it for cooperation.